So this is a driveway and a sidewalk that we got ready. We actually tore it out too. I didn't film tearing it out, but came out pretty easy. It was a bunch of wire mesh in it, but it was busted up pretty good. So we snatched it out with the tractor. This is a little area on the side of the garage that we like park a car or trailer or something right here. But this is us getting that set up. There was a gate back there that ended up coming out when we tore it out as well because it was all the gate post was poured in with the concrete. So we had to snatch that little piece out too. The general contractor we were doing this job for ended up coming back and replacing that afterwards. I think I got a picture of it. It looked pretty nice. I think I got a picture of it. But this is coming down the side. Simple. It was just made a break right there at the top from that side piece, and then we just came straight down. This is a pretty straightforward job. Took us about two hours to get it, 2.5 hours to get it formed up and all the road base in. It took us too long. It was quite area back here was pretty deep. As you can see, there's a lot of road base in here. We left a little bit of the remnants of the rubble from the tear out because it was so deep. Which, out here in Colorado, this is kind of our go-to for concrete backfill. It locks up really well too, because of all those fines. What we end up doing is tamping it once, or wetting it down and then tamp it. And if you wet it down and then run a plate compactor on top of it or any type of compaction equipment on top of it, it almost reactivates those fines that still have that concrete material in them, and it locks up. It's so hard sometimes if especially if you hit it with a plate compactor and let it sit for a while and kind of let the weather hit it. You almost have to tear it out. Like with a jackhammer, I've done some spots where we had to put a jackhammer on it. It had locked up so good. So, like I said, I like these fines. I like this fine material. It grades out really well. And grading is super important because you're ordering concrete based on the assumption that, everything is uniform to 4 or 5 inches, whatever you're shooting for in that job. This one was we were pouring it at 4 inch, which we pour most of our jobs, at 4 inches. This is the stair around the other side, walking into the house on the little sidewalk. You can see that front porch is undermined. We left some area there so when we poured it, we could shove some concrete under it and give it a little support. Even with it being undermined like that, you could see it still hanging there in the air, and that's because it has steel dialed into it, which is always a good thing, especially here in Colorado. We get a lot of ground movement because of the extreme temperatures. Our soil sucks up a lot of moisture in the winter when it snows, and in the summer, it dries out, so our ground is constantly flexing. I know a lot of other regions don't have that problem, but so we like to dial some steel into any structure that we can if we're pouring concrete against it, and it helps stop the movement. It's a big thing out here. This is me just kind of fine tuning as much as I can with the tractor. Seeing a couple low spots, dropping a little bit of road base in them, and kind of flattening them out. You always end up coming back and fine tuning it by hand. But this here's the end product. Put a little curve right there, leading up to the sidewalk. There's one stair. As you can see, we have rebar dialed in all the way around. I think those are 2 foot rebar dials, but that's it for the setup.